Hey guys, Ryan Mathers here from Winning International, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the 3 reasons why virtually no 6-figure coaches get to 7 figures. Okay, there's so many people that get there, and even more people that don't get there at all and fail their coaching business. In fact, 81% of coaches fail their coaching businesses in the first 3 years. But for the ones that do, and there's very few that do, but for the ones that do, most of them get stuck at 6 figures and don't make it through to 7. And we've got so many because we've got 2 main programs, 6-figure coach and 7-figure coach, and it's really interesting to see the main slip-ups that 6-figure coaches make going into 7 figures and what we've got to switch around and change for them to be able to get to 7 figures and get that right. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how you can get there and the main 3 traps to avoid, which are revealed by the question marks here, which you can see that are firmly blocking the answers, except for this one where it's kind of sticking out. So if you can guess it, be my guest. Last chance. Factor number 1, structure. So there are so many coaches that I see that are phenomenal in their ability to create results with their clients. So they may be working as a career coach or doing one-on-one coaching. They're phenomenal at it and their clients stick around. In fact, they get referrals. But because they've got their structure, their business model set up in a one-to-one format, it's kind of easy to get to 6 figures, but to get to 7 figures is quite hard. So they might be charging $200 an hour, and they've got 10 hours they're doing a week. So they're making $2 grand a week, they're making $100 grand a year. But to get to 7 figures doing that, you'd have to spend a lot of hours. You'd have to literally spend 100 hours a week, which is not feasible and not sustainable. So to be able to get around that, we need to make sure that we've got a model that's created in a one-to-many fashion, where you can create the same level of results for your clients, but without having to regurgitate the same information session after session, time after time, and you have an actual blueprint and a structure, a framework that can take people through where most people start when they work with you, all the way to where they finish, and then be able to have systems in place to get them there in a leveraged way. So both of our programs are run in a one-to-many fashion. We're on track to do $5 million in our coaching business at this point. It's going to continue to scale and scale and scale because we have a scalable model and structure. So if you're currently doing things one-to-one, I would highly suggest that you check out our video. We'll post it below, that's called How to Build a $10,000 Coaching Course. And in that video, we go through all the different ingredients you need to know to set up a course that's leveraged, so you can help more people and you can work on the business growth stuff to drive your business growth forwards without eating up your time, becoming exhausted, and not being able to move forward from there. So the first thing is structure. We need to go from one-to-one to one-to-many. The second factor, which is less common and less well-known than the structure, is scale. And this is our interpretation of the word scale. We've just used that word to represent what I'm about to go through with you guys. But the reality is, from 0 to 7 figures, we teach this concept, this structure that's called the coaching ladder, where it goes through 6 phases from 0 all the way to 7 figures, which gives you a specific focus point on that ladder. And if you master each of those levels, you will quickly progress to the next stage and the next stage all the way to 7 figures. However, there's one stage on that which comes right after making $5,000 a week, trying to go up above $10,000 a week, and the focus of that stage is to scale. And what scale means is when you get to a point where you're pushing hard, okay, you've now got the business up to a point where it's doing 250K, it seems like it's doing really well at that point, but you're feeling like since you started the business up until this point, your time investment has gotten greater and greater and greater, and you're at this specific level in the business where you're like, holy crap, if I keep going and putting more growth into the business, it's going to take even more time, and I'm not going to be able to sustain that. So at that point, they do one of 2 things. Number 1 is get overwhelmed and do nothing. And obviously, if they're doing nothing, what happens to their cash flow? Because they're doing no marketing, no sales, they're doing nothing, their cash flow drops, so they go further down the coaching ladder, and they go right back to square one. That's the first thing that happens. And the second thing that happens at this point where they're making 250K but not quite 500K is that they get to a point where, although they're doing the work, and although they're kind of making really good progress, instead of continuing to pummel that growth and momentum, they start to focus on systemization. And it's not that they're doing that's wrong, like you should definitely systemize at the right time, but doing it at the point where you're making 250K is premature. Because what happens if you haven't built up enough equity in your brand, momentum, and growth in the business to see out the storm of systemizing at the same time as growing it. So if people stop to systemize and they haven't built up enough traction and momentum, when they're systemizing, the business drops and they're like, holy crap, all my cash flow is going. And so then they go, holy shit, time to pummel the growth again, stop systemizing, go back to square one and have to build it up all again, which is crazy. So when things get really, really hard and you're doing 250K a year, that's not the time to go, crap, I'm overwhelmed, I need to stop. It's going, okay, cool, perfect. I've hit the stage where I'm now at this point where I'm successful on the coaching ladder, which is awesome, but I need to go drive the business growth forwards even more to get to leverage, which is when you can systemize when you're doing more than 10,000 a week. So when you feel like you can't grow anymore, that's when you've got to grow further, because all the capital, growth, momentum, sustainability that comes with that extra push will see out the storm and help you systemize at the right time to therefore scale up to 7 figures. That's so important. And it's not commonly known, but we see this trap all the time. We've got clients all the time smashed to 10,000 a week, or just between 5 and 10,000, even 10,000, but really quickly, they haven't built enough momentum in their brand, and then they freak out, or they go to systemize, and we have to pull them back in check and say, look, now's the time to scale. And that's when they push even harder. So that's scale. The third factor, and the final factor, I'm flicking magnets all over the place, is team. If you want to create a 7-figure coaching business, you must be willing and able to grow and maintain a phenomenal team with an amazing culture. And 7 figures, if you've got a good little team, it can get you well over 7 figures, but you need to grow a team and you need to know how to do it in the right order. Usually when people get people in, usually when coaches try to get people into their business, the first thing that they try to hire for is sales or marketing. So they'll try to get a sales team in or a marketing team in to try to replace them having to do those crucial activities that are the cornerstone of their growth in their business, and they outsource that, the important stuff, as opposed to taking responsibility for marketing and sales so they can grow it almost to 7 figures themselves, and then systemize the operations and support and admin orientated activities first while they're still controlling the sales marketing, then hire for sales, and then hire for marketing. But by the time you're hiring for marketing, you should be doing well over 7 figures anyway. So moral of this story is you need a team, you need to hire at the right time. Don't hire a marketing team first, master marketing yourself, and then get a team in with the capital that's come from your marketing and sales and scale efforts so you can hire at the right time. So guys, they're the 3 factors and issues and reasons why most people don't get from 6 figures to 7 figures. And right now, if you're watching this video, obviously you should be doing 6 figures. If not, I hope that you get there very, very quickly and understand in future pace that these 3 topics and ideas need to be addressed on that journey to 7 figures. So here's what I want you guys to do right now. I want you to put up what your favorite one of these 3 factors were in the comment section below, and I want you to reiterate your biggest takeaway that you got from that one factor. And even better yet, if you want to stretch yourself, talk about how you're going to avoid that factor yourself and make sure that you get it right based on what you learned in this video. And secondly, if you think this video is helpful and you know some other coaching friends that you have that could benefit from this, share it out there. Grab the URL, go below, click the share button, put it on social media, or just grab the URL, email or Facebook message it out to someone that you could think could benefit. But make sure you go below, reiterate your number 1 most important factor that you felt was the strongest for you, and what you learned from that and how you're going to avoid that factor as well. So that's it from me in this video, guys. Love ya, leave ya, peace out, have an awesome day. Can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Do this, and I'll see you guys smashing 7 figures soon. Much love, guys.